Hey guys, this is my latest LEGO build, the Star Wars UT-80, and it stands for Unstable Terrain Artillery Transport. This tank can be very shortly seen in Star Wars Episode 3, but it gets blown up after like 5 seconds of screen time, so it's not the most well-known tank, but certainly a very cool and unique looking one. And I decided to do a LEGO model of it. It has over 2,700 pieces, and I made instructions for this build as well. So please, if you're interested, follow the link to my Rebrickable page after you've watched this video. What makes the UT-80 so unique is that it is not like most of the other AT type of vehicles, a walker, but a hovering tank. So down here, what looks like feet is actually repulsor skis, so hovering skis, that can move up and down like feet basically would, but it's to ensure that the tank hovers evenly above all types of surfaces. It's also interesting because it has a very unique shaping. So basically in the front end here we have 11 different types of angled plates coming together, and it was sort of hard to replicate, or at least a little bit of a challenge to get this right in LEGO with minimal gaps between the different pieces. But it turned out nicely and certainly has the right look that the UT-80 should have. And getting that right was just as important as getting the look of the turrets and guns right, because the UT-80 is interesting in terms of, its armament. It has this major turret up top here that can rotate freely and, pivot up and down like that. And this is very similar to the ATTE turret that we have, but it's different in terms that it doesn't have a gunner in the back because it's actually operated from the inside. And then we have these very long and large cannons on the side that can also move up and down. And I made this whole model, by the way, to be sturdy enough to just, mess around with it a little bit so that nothing breaks off here. That was very important as well. So we have these guns, then we have a very small laser cannon underneath the cockpit there. And then the cool anti-personnel cannons in the back here that can also rotate freely and pivot up and down like so. So the tank is definitely well equipped in terms of its armament. Now I'm just going around the different sides of it a little bit so that you can see it from different angles. For example, here's the back view. Then we have some details up top here that I'm showing it to you a little bit closer now. I also like this little detail with this sort of rope down here at the turret. And I'm also pretty happy with the visual appearance that this model has in terms of its color, because apart from obviously the gray and Republic dark red colors, it also has the olive green and the bright light orange here. I really enjoy the type of almost playful look that this gives to it, just like a Lego set maybe would. And in general, I try to keep the aesthetics of this close to how Lego designers approach especially their types of UCS sets, where there are a lot of studs showing on the surfaces everywhere, but also quite a lot of tiled and smooth surfaces, so that it's all nicely balanced and has a Lego look to it, but still looks clean and finished. So now we've had a look at all the major outside details, and it's finally time to get to the interior. And the interior can be accessed from the very back here because I added this little boarding ramp right in the back. And it comes down and already reveals a bit of what's going on inside. But to make things a lot more easy to access, we can of course lift off the entire top section here. And it comes off like so, and it also has some little pieces symbolizing lights for the ceiling there. And we have this sort of hallway-like interior, and the cool thing is, from the very back here, it goes all the way to the front cockpit there. So you might be able to see this tunnel in the very front that we'll get to a little bit later on. And the clones can access the cockpit seats through that tunnel as well. So all the different parts of the interior can be accessed from this main hallway. And with some of the figures removed, you can see things a little bit better in there. So we have these different rows of seats along the walls. And I also like that it's not symmetrical, but we have like 3 seats here, then we have 2 here, so that the interior has like different zones with different things in there. We have some weapon racks along the walls. We have a little pattern on the floor there. Some nice splashes of color with the sand blue along the crates that we have in there. And also some helmet racks. And you see it's getting a bit dark in there, but guess what? That's not really a problem because there is more things to take off. So, what if I told you that all of this comes off as one? And obviously the other side will come off as well and reveal even more interior, namely the gunner stations for these anti-personnel turrets in the back. So we have some clones lying down in there operating the turrets, and they have some lever controls down in there. But the cool thing is they also have some screens. So if we flip this over, you can see that each gunner station has some controls there on the ceiling so that the clones have, you know, some aiming devices with them. Kind of a cool little touch there. And there's also some weapon racks in the front here so that the gunners have their weapons with them if needed. And this is where the ladders lead up to those gun ports there. And in the front, there's also that small ladder leading up to the front hallway there. And that's what we're gonna have a look at now. So remember, all of this is connected. And right through here, there goes that little bit of hallway and then leads to the cockpit. And that just slides open like so. Just take off the top section. Slide this little tray out and we have our pilot in the front and also the gunner in the back, and he's operating the main forward-facing turrets and guns that we have. And he has some lever controls on the walls there. A little bit tough to see right now, but he also has a screen on the ceiling, just like the gunners in the back, so visibility is always given. And now with, you know, the back section still removed, you can also see that we have a look at the back there. So this is that hallway that I was talking about. And the cool thing is the seat rests will be able to, you know, flip back so that the clones are going to be able to climb into their seats from the back. Just a little thing that, you know, I thought was needed for, you know, consistent logics so that this can still be accessed from the back hallway, and it can. And then there is one bit of interior left to show to you guys, and that is underneath this large front shell here. So I'll just swivel up this cannon and then we can take this off as one big piece. And underneath we have some engine detail with some tubing and some different pieces here. And on the inside of this bigger shell piece, there's a lot of pieces used to make sure this is all sturdy and not gonna fall apart on you. And you can indeed mess around with this quite a bit. And so I really put a lot of effort into making this strong, which leads to a little bit of a smaller detailed section on the inside and also some detail on the underside. And that's a good occasion to show you the last sort of view of the UT-80. And that is going to be a shot from all underneath, basically the bottom view. So I just flipped the model on its back and now it's showing its underside to us. Mainly there's detail in the front here with these bits of engine detail, like I said, and also the little laser gun underneath the cockpit in the front. And this is also, you know, try to keep accurate to actual pictures of the underside of the UT-80. So now we're back at what we started with. The UT-80 is back in all its glory, all reassembled. And thank you so much for watching this. And of course, if you are interested in building this yourself, don't forget that there are instructions on my Rebrickable page. Follow that link, and of course, if you end up getting those instructions, I thank you very much for doing so. And I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' feedback on this. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you so much. Have a good time and goodbye.